Hello and welcome to another Tarot with Jay. I wanted to come on today and tell you about a lovely pairing I'm just enamored with. It's the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Kat Wallstein. And am I pairing it with the Tarot of Mystical Moments? Oh, hell no. These don't work together. Not at all. A lot of people have problems with them. Kat Wallstein actually did the Oracle first and the Tarot secondly. I believe that the Oracle sets up the Tarot. I believe that the Oracle introduces you to her language style, her iconography, her symbolism, a little bit of how she likes to think about the world maybe and make art about it. But not all work goes together. And the problem I found with them is, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both fabulous individually. This is one of my top 5 decks for absolute sure. It runs beautifully by itself. It always makes me think about tarot, always makes me learn about tarot, always makes me look at the art, but and runs with a ton of other decks, but not with this one. And specifically, it's just the images repeat and they don't make sense together. They don't amplify each other's images. When you see roses in this, it doesn't amplify roses in this. When you see keys in this, it doesn't amplify keys in this. And roses and keys are so important in each of these decks individually. Now, what am I pairing this with? Kat Black's Golden Tarot. I looked at the dates on these. This is actually 2003 and this is 2017. But these are gorgeous. These amplify each other's images. Let's look at some cards and we'll talk about that. So, and they both have amazingly good books. There's actually a ton of information in this book, keywords and things to journal off of, and messages that really show a great deal more than just the images. And this is spectacular information in this book. It describes what's in the cards, it tells you the meaning, but then it tells you extra, like, secret tarot information that you don't really get other places, I find. Like, what happens if you have 3 9s in a spread? What happens if you have 4 aces in a spread? Just sort of like back information like that. And then, art history freaks, in the back it tells the sources of the collage that they are working with. So I love it, love it, love it. Let's look at some cards together, shall we? Golden Tarot is a real drop. Shuffle rather than riffle. And you can riffle away on these oracle cards. And bridge. So, that's some pairings. Oh, nice. So, it's the Knight of Coins with To the Moon and back. Alright, so I love the font that happens in the bottom. I love the directionality that they're looking. They're both on a transport, and there's this little movement to the card and a nice undulation of color. And in terms of meaning, that we have The Knight of Coins is someone who's plodding steadily ahead, and to love you to the moon and back, that's plodding steadily ahead. Our next combination is the Chariot and Keys on Trees. So we see this chariot built up and this tall linear movement, keys with trees, surmounted by the elephant who is on a tower and possibly in a precarious situation, but the keys are all around. The charioteer is up on top of a potentially precarious situation, but they're in charge of their destiny. So it's got a nice destiny movement to it, as well as a visual alignment. The Tower and Morning Dew Girl. The Morning Dew Girl, she collects your fears and worries from overnight and pours them out on the ground. The Tower is the word of God, striking down, crumbling that which will not stand, and leaving you to rebuild. Page of Sword with Treasured Moments. There seems to be a lot of conversation and message coming out of these cards. We see, once again, they're holding the balloon, the thought, or their sword, which is thought as well. And there's a jumping and a movement above them in the clouds as well. I like that Golden Tarot has borders and then Oracle of Mystic Moments doesn't, so I like the way that those work together. It leaves a little bit of a separation but not too much of a distance. Ooh, the Hierophant with Night Ride. This is killer. This is it. So this is the Hierophant, which represents, like the Night Ride. The Night Ride is the owl protecting its young. And they are going with the staid, the steady, the tested, the tried, the true, the ivory. It has this beautiful curve and swirl to the staff, and curve and swirl to the light and the tusks. So, gorgeous. Let's do one more, shall we? Here we are. Well, the Queen of Coins and Listen. And Listen is, like the Queen of Coins, she's grounded, she's taking her time, she's contemplative and curled and finite, but also infinite at the same time. And the queens are a very, the Queen's Key, this deck for me, and this is the cover of the booklet. So it speaks a lot back to the deck, and it's just a lovely, even like the chamomile and the gold and the coloration and the blues that happen, and that smile, it's the same smile, that quiet, grounded content. Backs are beautiful together. And thank you, friends. I want to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking a little time. What's one of your favorite pairings? Do you have these decks? Do you run them together? Have you found anything to do with Oracle of Mystical Moments? Here's actually one more little tip I have for Oracle. It stood in my way a great deal until I spent an afternoon with 6 key cards that confused me and this lovely little guidebook. So there are 6 cards that look similar. Will I be able to pull them for you? Possibly. But they're all real floral. So they are things like Rose Garden and Elixir of Life and Red Garden. And we'll catch one more. They're very floral, they're very girly, and they seem to be like girls in flowers or girls in red dresses. Here's one too, Peony. So these, like, was that a good 4 cards? Those 4 very much tripping me up until I really was able to differentiate the stories that are described in the book and the keywords. They're really quite different, and once I nailed that down, I was able to also on that day marry that deck to Cat Black's Golden Tarot, and I was like, I cracked it, I hit it, I know what this deck is about now, and it's taking pride of place on the shelf. It's up on the top shelf now. I'm very happy to be talking to you about it. Thanks again, everyone. Be sure to like, do comment, and subscribe. It's been Jay. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful witching day.